Hey everybody, Doug Walker here. I'm sorry Rob can't be here. He is knee, head, whatever, deep in submissions right now. It's insane the amount we got, and are still getting. So he says he's sorry he can't be here for this, but he pretty much said his opinion is my opinion when it comes to the one that he saw, which is X-Men Days of Future Past. So it's going to be two vlogs. It's going to be that. It's going to be Maleficent, which I just saw, because I did the bum review of X-Men, and everyone's like, what'd you really think? What'd you really think? So this is just a quick follow-up as to what my real thoughts on the movie is, are, I should say. So, okay, you can't talk about, what is this, the fifth movie? Something like that in this series without talking about the other ones real fast. I'll try to give a real quick sum up of them, just my thoughts on them. I loved X-Men growing up. I love the comics. I love the cartoon. I got the cards. I got, like, everything. So when the first movie came out, I wasn't too excited because it came out when comic book movies were like the kiss of death. And you know how now you can do like Thor and Captain America, just there's so much leeway in what people will buy now and how much money goes into them, that was not the case. So this was trying to be a little bit more of a realistic send-up, and for as movies go, technically, as a good movie, it's not actually that good, because, like, a lot of the characters' motivations, there's a lot thrown in, the story's a little clunky sometimes, and they're just really trying to throw a lot at you, but as an adaptation, and as an X-Men fan, I enjoyed it. It's a good starting film, and like I said, this is probably, like, especially back then, one of the hardest things to adapt into a big screen motion picture, and I thought they did a decent job. Like I said, it's still not technically good, like, you know, just Wolverine and Cyclops just hate each other. Well, okay, forget any history, any development, whatever. They just kind of hate each other. And, you know, Sabretooth and Wolverine don't have a rivalry. It's stuff like that. But I thought it was okay. I thought it was a good start. X-Men 2 came out. Everyone says this is like the best one out of the series. I don't see it. I like Brian Cox. I like some of the action. I like Magneto's a little bit more of a bad guy. I guess for me, they're moving at the pace of the Harry Potter films. Like, ooh, we'll give you an eye drop of new information now. And I just felt like they were going too slow, and a lot of it was kind of padding. But I like Nightcrawler. I like Brian Cox. You know, and they kill off a character at the end, which is only to follow through with this, you know, the Phoenix Saga. I mean, everyone knows what that's going to be. And yeah, did anyone really care when that character went? I mean, it's just, I don't know. For me, it wasn't as big a thing, but I still liked it. It was still fun. It was, you know, an okay follow-up to the first one, but it still seemed like, hey, we're setting stuff up. The third one is where everyone says shit goes wrong and everything, they all go downhill from there. I don't hate it that much. I'm the asshole. I'm the asshole that does not mind this movie that much. But with that said, I know it's not good. I know it's not a good film. But I don't think any of them are really particularly good. But I got to the third one because it seemed like shit was going down, like actual interesting conversation starters. Like, that's the one with the cure that can stop you from being a mutant, and whether or not it's a good thing or a bad thing and how everybody reacts to it, and there's a war fought over that. See, for me, that's like, yes, this seems like something that would be fought over, and this seems like now where kind of certain prejudices are. You know, if you could erase this, would you? Should you? Yeah. And I like that talk, where in 2 it was like, they want to kill all humans, they want to kill all mutants, and something about the world in the balance that's an immediate turnoff for me, because it's been done so much, and it's so obviously not, it takes you out of any form of reality they were trying to create for me. So I liked what they were focusing on the third one. I liked seeing Juggernaut. I love seeing Beast. Kelsey Grammer as Beast. How the hell did they do that? How the hell did they make such a ridiculous design, like, respectable and look cool? And he was great in it. But a lot of bad stuff too. A lot of characters get axed off. I mean, thankfully one you don't care that much about. One died already. The Phoenix Saga is mostly botched, but again, keep in mind this. You couldn't do aliens or any of that stuff back then. You just couldn't. You know, now you can, because Marvel has made just these giant leaps in what you can do with comic book movies. I mean, and you can get away with doing this stuff. Back then, you just couldn't. I'm not saying that I like what they did with it, but yeah, I kind of get why they couldn't go all the way with that. But I still got to see a little bit. I got to see her going nuts. I saw shit flying and people blowing up. Didn't see the Firebird. That pissed me off. They built it up in the second one, not to deliver in the third one. So I'm not as angry with it as a lot of other people are, but I see why it's bad. I get it. But I just thought shit was finally going down. I saw some cool stuff I always wanted to see in an X-Men movie. So, it's a selfish reason. I'll just very clear. X-Men Origins Wolverine came out. I thought that sucked. That was my X-Men 3. Nothing worked. The continuity was all off. The acting wasn't that good. The pacing was really bad. They fucked up Deadpool, which it's like, I'm not even like, I don't know that much about Deadpool, but I just know that's not Deadpool, and that he's like one of the most popular things like ever to exist, like in the geek circles. Every time you go to a con, that's like, I mean, you cosplay as Deadpool, everyone be like, holy shit, hey, they'll like, you're suddenly a rock star. They did not do a good job with that. Gambit was cool for the 2 seconds he was in it. Nothing adds up. They don't even try to connect it to the other movies. Really, really bad. That's the worst in my opinion. I think X-Men First Class was next. That's the only one that's like a legitimate, like, this is a good movie. Like, okay, the characters are good, the story is good, everything kinda connects, like there's some continuity that doesn't add up, but again, the Wolverine ruined it all. I mean, so it's like, what can you do? But it pisses me off because none of my favorite X-Men are in it. So it's like, from pure selfish standpoint, that drives me nuts. But I also acknowledge, as films go, that is the one that's like, this is a good movie. This is solid. Good acting, good story, good everything. And it's intriguing, and it's very well done. The Wolverine, I just saw like last year, or was it this year? Oh, it was this year, because it came out last year. And for me, it was mostly a bore. I thought his redhead sidekick was cool, but I don't remember anything else about it. So it's not like really bad like how some of the worst ones got, but I thought it was very mediocre. But I did people all over the map on that, so if you say you like it, I get it. It seems like the most adult in many respects, but it's also the most boring. So finally, okay, long sum up there, the X-Men movies. But you gotta know going into this, because this is like the umpteenth version. This is X-Men Days of Future Past. Wolverine goes back in time to stop this terrible future from happening. A future that's taken over by the Sentinels, and he has to change things around to make sure it doesn't happen, based on the very classic, very iconic story that I read when I was younger too. They did in the cartoons, And the fight going into this movie, I was not particularly looking forward to it, because I actually think this story is very dated. And what I mean by that, even though it's about the future, don't get me wrong, it came out, I want to say in the 80s, that the story was written in the 80s, I think, and it's just Terminator. It's, the future's gonna suck, we had to go back in time to change it. It looks like every shitty future you've ever seen. It's ruled by machines, everybody has done this now. So I really was not looking forward to this movie, believe it or not. I was like, okay, I was just done with X-Men 2. I was like, look, I love you, but I'm just done. I can't do anymore. But sure enough, the movie's going through, and it's combining the First Class cast with the original cast, which is really clever. I mean, really kind of brilliantly done. And you don't spend much time in the future. It's mostly dealing with Wolverine going to the past. It's not Shadowcat. Though she does send him, which comes out of nowhere. Just suddenly she can send people's consciousness back in time. Unless I missed something, they did not explain that very well. Like, why she suddenly has this power, like, I go through walls. Oh, also as, and at a little bonus, I can just send people back in time. Some mutants. But whatever. And they, for the most part, tie in the continuity and the characters and everything very well, and they sort of have enough, for the most part, they have enough space and room for these characters to breathe and, be their characters. some stuff doesn't add up. Like Magneto's like, you'll have to find me. It's important you find me and bring me on this mission. He does nothing to help. He makes everything worse. I mean, it's like unbelievable what a bad idea that was. So, but Rob brought up a good point. He says maybe he hasn't changed. Maybe he still wants to fuck things over. So could be. I don't know. All the cast is great. It's wonderful seeing these people together. The young Magneto and the young Xavier and the young Mystique combined with the new Wolverine. So it's really fun. But I still wasn't like, as good as it is, I acknowledge it's a very good flick. I was still like, I'm still kind of done, guys. I'm sorry. It's like, I'm getting through it. I'm enjoying it. It's good action, good acting, surprisingly good story, but, I'm just not grabbing it. And then we got to the ending. And I won't ruin the ending, but it is brilliant. Fucking brilliant at cleaning up all the problems of the last films. Like, I was amazed at how well this was done. And I don't know, I haven't read up on it much. I don't know if people see it as a cop-out or like a really nicely put together ending, but I thought it was really inspired. And it was so good that the movie actually made me want to see another X-Men movie at a point where I was just done. And this is what I realized about X-Men 3, that it was a big problem the more I looked at it. Well, after I saw this ending, is that I realized I never fully got an X-Men movie. Really, truly, because all the character, at the end of X-Men, how many are there? 4? Going up to save another X-Men or something? Half of them are knocked out and stuff. 2. How many of them are there? A few more, but like half of them are knocked out or being hypnotized or whatever and stuff. 3, they start killing them off. And in 3, that's when I realized it was a mistake to start killing them off in 3. I liked it because I was just like, A, I don't care about the characters they killed off, and B, I was like, just finally shit's happening. But I realized we never saw them all go in as a group and all together, and that was part of the fun of X-Men. If you didn't like someone, there's that character, or this character's doing this, well then you got these characters over here, and they're all interacting, working off of each other, and even if you don't like them, I liked seeing them interact off each other, and we never really got that. So this film, the ending of this film, is pretty much saying, we're leaving it open for that to happen now. That is totally possible. I hope they do it, because I don't see it happening, because I know there's so many schedules and there's so many kind of big names now to throw in here, and to get them all in one movie, and God, you'd have to have like a fucking 5-hour movie in order to have all these characters in there. This one barely even has Bishop, who looks cool, but I love Bishop, come on. But I get it, it's a movie, an adaptation, and nobody knows Bishop, so, I understand, but it's like these possibilities are suddenly open. And there's something legitimately exciting about it. So even if the next one doesn't follow through and it's crap and whatever, I'm still very thankful just for that anticipation that the end of this movie gave me. The whole ending is shot like you're waking up from a bad dream. And it's kind of like that for the audience too. You just sort of go, oh good. That's... so the other stuff, all the fucking dumb mistakes you made before, like, they're kind of gone. Okay, alright, I'm happy. Like, now we're allowing you to have your X-Men movie. Whether they follow through or even can follow through is yet to be seen, but now you can do Avengers, you can do Thor, you can do all these crazy-ass things that you wouldn't be able to do, 20 years in the past, and now you can do them. So I think it's kind of exciting. I'm really excited. Like I said, the cynical side of me says they're not going to follow through, and they're just either going to bring back the old cast or the first class cast, which is probably more interesting, honestly. They're probably the more interesting characters, but I want to see an X-Men movie. I want to see all the characters together working off each other. Have Rogue come across another mutant that she touches for too long so she can fly and beat shit up. Bring in, make them happen. We saw a bit in this one. We saw Iceman being Iceman. Again, sort of like in X-Men 3, we're finally getting the X-Men acting like X-Men. You know, he's sliding around and doing all this cool stuff. We see Colossus, we see all this cool stuff, and it's just the very, very selfish side of me who wants to see, you know, like, my X-Men movie with all the X-Men in it, really likes that stuff, really likes, even if it's just for a little bit, that little indulgence of, hey, here's that cool X-Men you remember, here that person is on the big screen. And now it looks like a possibility, so hopefully they'll follow through. I don't know if they will, but like I said, I'm just thankful to have that excitement again, because it kind of took me back to being a little kid once more when this ending came up. That's how much I love this ending. This ending made the movie for me. So, yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Rob sort of said the same thing. I think he was saying more like, yeah, it was nice, but I want the first class cast, like, they're infinitely more interesting, and he's kind of right, you know, but the selfish side of me is just like, no, I want my X-Men movie, I want my X-Men movie. He does not share the same thoughts of the past X-Men movies, by the way. Like, I think he likes 2 the best, from 3 on he thinks they're shit, so, you know, in that respect, they're a little different, but pretty much all our other thoughts are mostly the same. So, yeah, guys, that's about it. If, I'm pretty much doing this because, like I said, a lot of people asked to see it. They want to know my real thoughts. I think Maleficent will be in here as well. Even though that's the newer movie, I get a feeling this one will still get more views. But maybe not. Maybe it'll be popular. So that's about it now. Talk to you later. Take care.